Beginning our day, June 5th, 2025. So I was able to, a couple days ago, send the Thai group, Longpo Liam, Longpo Jandi, Ajahn Soang, Ajahn Sik, Ajahn Moshe, and Chan Git to the airport, Toronto. And their flight was scheduled to depart at 1:45 a.m. on June 3rd. So went down on 2nd. Got there very late, dropped them off, went to a airport hotel. I slept for a couple hours, went back to the airport, and then boarded my flight for San Francisco. So that was leaving at 6:30 a.m. Toronto time on June 3rd, which is 3:30 a.m. here. So a couple days ago, I had a very long day, and then was able to rest in the middle of the day a little bit, and then went to lead the first Tuesday at Berkeley Buddhist Monastery program. I was able to meet up with Reverend Hung Sher, who was there, and reconnect with him, which is very nice. Always great to see him, pay respects. And met up with the car there with Venerable Jayasara and Tanobasi. And then the next day sent Tanobasi and his brother off to the airport for the 1-week Hawaiian vacation before going to Thailand, and now we're back. So the Kruba Ajahn visit was very, very successful, and I'm really glad that I was able to travel with them the whole time. And Longpo Liam, of course, was coming out with some very profound wisdom all along the way, and just the way his example and the way he lives. And this is why we're ordained. If there wasn't these great Ajahns, then there's no reason for us to be here. This is what draws us to the Sangha. This is what causes us to make our long-term commitments to being here. And if there wasn't these great teachers, then for myself, there would be really, I wouldn't feel like I'd be able to make progress or have these examples to follow. So certainly Longpo Liam is what I consider one of the greatest examples in the world of Dhamma Vinaya and what's possible as a bhikkhu, what's possible to achieve in the practice, and what a consummate bhikkhu actually looks like. So Longpo Liam, he gave these gifts to every one of the abbots of the monasteries he visited. And it's a very simple gift, but I heard it explained later. It's a belt. These belts are made by the nuns at Wakapam, usually. They're made out of silk normally, so most of the belts we wear that were made in Thailand are woven out of rough silk. And silk can be dyed, so this belt can be dyed brown. But these particular belts, the reason Longpo Liam brought them is they're pangsukala belts. They're actually connected with corpses, so it's a death contemplation belt. And the material to make these belts, if any of you have ever been to a traditional Thai funeral, especially in the northeast or the more poor parts of Thailand, they have these, there's a funeral procession with a ancient song that gets played during this procession. It's the ancient Thai funeral dirge that gets played while there'll be usually a pickup truck with the coffin in the back. And as the truck slowly drives to the trundle ground, it's like all the villagers are like pulling the truck, and there's a long silk blessing cord that is attached to the coffin, and all of the villagers slowly kind of pull the coffin, pull the truck. I mean, they're not physically pulling the truck is just driving very slowly. But I've been part of these before. It's very moving, and you pull all the way, maybe be a half hour, could be 45 minutes, till you reach the trundle ground where the cremation will happen. And so the silk in these belts is taken from those cords that pull the corpses to the trundle ground. So it's a pangsukala belt. So I just think Longpo Liam, he comes out with these things. He's incredibly creative, and he has these ideas, and it's just very moving and a very, very meaningful gift. And also so I only found out how these belts were made at the very end when he offered one to Longpo Viradamo. And Longpo Viradamo, it turns out, when he was a novice 52 years ago, spent the Vasa with Ajahn Liam at Tom Sang Pet. And at that time, Ajahn Liam gave him a belt. And Luang Por Viradamo has used that belt for 52 years. He's never changed belts. And then Luang Por Liam gave him his next belt. So it's like Luang Por Liam gave him his first belt, and then he gave him his next belt. So he's only received belts from Luang Por Liam. So it's very, very moving. And he's fixed that belt. He's kept wearing that belt for 52 years and fixed it so many times and kind of had to sew the tassels, the tie parts back on and everything. But yeah, there's just so many layers of teaching there. And just the whole way everything came together at the end was very, very nice. Some of the profound wisdom from Luang Por Liam, he was talking about karma. When we had a get together with him at Tisarana with some of the monks, Tan Siri Medo, a few of the other monks there. There was Ajahn Pavaro. Tana Marsiri was there, but he wasn't part of this particular session at Luang Por Liam's cabin. There's also a monk named Arahant from Temple Forest Monastery who followed us up there. And then there was Venerable Dira Bodhi who was there with us. And just Luang Por Liam talking about Kamma and the applied aspect of Kamma, or the real lived way to contemplate Kamma, which I'll just share in brief, which is the difference between the mind that's still enmeshed in the world and the mind of the Arahant, which has completely transcended the world. And so it's said in the suttas, the mind of the Arahant doesn't create kamma anymore. And yet Luang Por Liam used this word giriya. He said the word giriya refers to the actions of an Arahant and how they don't create kamma. And so the actions of an Arahant, because they're fully in line with the natural law of Dhamma, they don't create kamma. But for a mind that's enmeshed in the world, for us ordinary folk, then what happens is the mind has these preferences and likes and dislikes. And when the mind follows its likes and dislikes, what it does is it creates an aim. It creates an aim outside of itself. And then when it moves toward that aim, that's the creation of kamma. And the Arahant doesn't do that. The Arahant doesn't create an aim outside. Everything's kept in the center. And the aim doesn't occur, so there's no creation of kamma. So I just found that just a reflection that I'm constantly contemplating after he said that, because there's a clear difference. There's a clear difference between the liberated and the unliberated mind. But of course, we have to create the aim of Dhamma. We have to move toward Dhamma, but that's the kamma of the Noble Eightfold Path. That's the kamma leading to the ending of kamma. The Noble Eightfold Path is the highest of conditioned things. So that's the aim we have to keep in mind. But then at a certain point, there won't be any more aims. And just to keep that in mind as well as a contemplation, that's what we call Nibbana Nusati, or the reflection on Nibbana, the contemplation of Nibbana. So just a great blessing to have these Ajahns here with us, and it's giving importance to these things and being there it's all important for us. It's more important than getting any task done in the monastery or anything we do on the external level. This is the very core of the holy life, so it's very important to give it our all when we have these Ajahns visiting, and we have given it our all. So we all did very good with the visit and put our effort into it, put our hearts into it, and now they arrived back in Ubon just yesterday. So I got a message that they're all back in Ubon. Luang Por Liam is back at Wat Pah Pong. So it's been a successful trip. So I'll just leave that for reflection this morning.